Hi there, it's Pastor Mark, and I'm back today with another book talk for you for the West Harford Cooperative Parish. And today I am talking about the sermons of John Wesley. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, I'm cheating a little bit because although this is my favorite and personal copy of his sermons, this doesn't have all of them in it. It does have a good sampling, and it's the one I turn to. It has most of my notes. You can see my pages are marked, and if you look carefully, I have underlining everywhere. But I'm not necessarily recommending this volume, although it is a fine volume and a nice collection. This one has been edited by Albert Outler. It's about 40 years old now, but it's a standard collection of his sermons. The great thing about Wesley's sermons, though, is you can get them in lots of different ways. You can even get them for free through Northwest Nazarene University, so you don't have to even pay any money. But I really want to recommend reading some of John Wesley's sermons. If you've never read them before, or even if you have, this is a great time to go back and look at some of the things that one of the co-founders of Methodism thought about and wrote about. And although Wesley did a lot of different writing, he is definitely strongest and at his best in his sermons. Not all of his sermons read like things we would want to hear preached today necessarily. They are 250 years old or older in many cases, but they have a powerful message in them, and oftentimes they cross the ages rather surprisingly well. I want to recommend in particular two of Wesley's sermons as starting points. One is the Scripture Way of Salvation. And that I learned from one of my own teachers as an excellent place to get people started with Wesley. It just gives an outline of how he thinks about what it means to be saved, the whole picture for him. And it's a great way to get a sense of what, for Wesley, Methodism is about at its heart. And the second one is my own personal favorite. It's called The Great Privilege of Those That Are Born of God. And what I love about this sermon is that it has, to me, a beautiful depiction of salvation metaphorically in terms of breathing. Learning to breathe, like infants learn to breathe when they come out of their mother's wombs, and then maturing in breath, growing in breath, breathing in more deeply, and having that breath then be returned to God in praise. And then at the end of the sermon, it has a fantastic look at how it is we fall away from that if we fall back into sin. And he turns to David and Bathsheba as an example of this, but he gives a real good depiction too of how it is we let go of our faith when we're not being careful or when we are falling into temptation. So again, the sermons of John Wesley, I really commend these to you. I feel that as a denomination in the United Methodist Church, we simply do not know Wesley well enough. I often hear from people on all different points of view saying things about Wesley, characterizing him that simply are not true or are really only a portion of what he said or thought. And the best way to find out what Wesley said and thought is to read him and to listen to him yourself. So the sermons of John Wesley, they are available in this anthology by Albert Outler and Richard Heitzenreiter, but you can get them in many different editions. You can find them for free online. Spend some time with Wesley and enjoy what he has to say to you and to all of us.